Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris. And guys, let's get it. UFC 290 literally just ended, like 20 minutes ago? And before I even get into it, shouts out to my ladies again. Good old Emily over at B-Dubs, always taking care of me. And, honestly, they hooked me up so much. I got a couple extra ones, so I might be doing a giveaway for, some posters. If you guys want it for UFC 290, comment, do whatever. If you guys want it, just let me know. And probably my favorite comment or something's gonna win it. So, but man, UFC 290, like what, guys? What the heck did we just watch? What a fucking card! What a phenomenal card all around, just up and down, even from the jump. Like Jesus Aguilar's nasty overhand right knockout within like 20 seconds. Freaking Cameron Simon, who I've been calling. Honestly, guys, I had a very rough night tonight on who I picked, who everything. The only person that I think came through for me all night was Cameron Simon. 100%. And then Bo Nickel, if you count that. But, like, come on now. But seriously, guys, from the jump, freaking Volkanovski doing his thing as always against Yair. Phenomenal. I did say, like, don't sleep on Yair. And, honestly, I feel like it's great to say that stuff because Yair did look kind of good there, especially in that third round. As soon as he started to get it going, then Volk said, no, I'm going to finish you. And then, oh, my God. Brandon Moreno, Pantoja's main event or like co-main event, one of the greatest title fights I've ever seen. I mean, clearly I'm a little biased right now because I just watched about an hour ago. But what a fucking fight that was. Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker turning into fight of the night that I wasn't expecting. And then, guys, the number one thing I got to sit here and apologize. Dricus du Plessis, I know you ain't going to ever watch this, and I don't know why you would, but I've been talking so much shit about your skill, or at least not really your skill because you're fucking talented, but I've been talking a lot of shit about at least Robert Whitaker taking your ass out. And then we're going to sit there leaving. What, are we going to see a trilogy between Whitaker and Izzy? And then, boy, guys, like, I'm going to start with this one because I'm probably the most embarrassed by this one. If we're being real here, like, goodness gracious, I didn't see DDP winning that fight. I don't think anybody did, especially from what I was seeing on Twitter and everything from, like, fighters and analysts and everything. Like, pretty much everybody in the world thought Robert Whitaker was going to win this one, which why wouldn't you think that? You know what I'm saying? He's been taking out everybody. Like, every time we think somebody's going to fight, like, take that next step, Robert Whitaker says, wait, hold my beer. And then they got to go through 2 or 3 more fights just to even get to Izzy, just because Izzy ran through everybody. And probably the only down part of the night was just how, like, terrible that promo was for Dricus du Plessis and Israel Adesanya when Izzy stepped into the cage, or the octagon. Like, I get it, guys. It's tough with Dricus du Plessis because I understand where he was coming from with his comments from that whole Africa thing. Like, I was actually born here. I get that whole aspect. But, I'm going to say it. I don't like talking about race because I don't see it. I don't like any of that shit just because, the life I live, I'm pretty open. I love everybody. I don't give a shit about this stuff. And it was really hard for me. I can't say it was hard for me. That's stupid to say. But it was tough to watch where it's like, is he just calling Dricus the N-word the entire time? And I thought it was pretty ugly, honestly. I wasn't a big fan of it, but, I see a lot of people are thinking like, oh, the confidence level on Izzy's very low if he's out here talking like that. Like, I think he's just got something personal with him. I really do, and I think it's one of the first times we're going to see Izzy like really personal with somebody, which I love. So, in Dricus, you made a believer out of me. You took out Robert Whitaker. The biased fan in me wants to sit here and say, Robert Whitaker didn't look that good tonight. He looked like he was a little off. I didn't think he was cutting angles as well as he usually does. I thought he was backing up in a straight line a lot more than he ever has. But, that could be with Dricus doing his thing. It seems like his whole nasal, surgery went very well. It looks like he's got a full tank finally. Didn't even once have his mouth open and breathing. I mean, goodness gracious, you made a believer out of me. Honestly, you're fucking phenomenal and everything. But with that being said, Izzy in under 3 still. Like, come on, guys. Like, I don't know. Dricus is going to have to knock out Izzy twice and then beat Robert Whitaker again. And then beat everybody else, Sean Strickland, Vettori, Costa, like everybody that, he's got to run through. And then maybe I'll believe in him. Honestly, like, I hate to sound like a hater here. But, it was as impressive as it was against Robert Whitaker tonight. It just felt like it wasn't the same Whitaker. But, I mean, it's crazy to see somebody get dropped with a jab like that. That was nasty. Like, seriously, shouts out to Dricus du Plessis. Him and Cameron Simon both representing South Africa. Fucking phenomenal, man. And then, the other thing I really want to get into, guys, I hate to be this guy. I hate to be this guy on UFC 290 night. And, it's not Bo Nickel's fault at all because, his guy backed out. Trajan Gore had to back out due to the whatever, injury, scaredness. I don't know what he was, whatever he was doing, fear, whatever it would have been. he backs out 3 days before the fight, and then he gets this guy come in, freaking Hardwood or whatever the heck his name is, and it's tough. Honestly, it's tough to see because it's not that impressive. Like, you went out there, yeah, it's cool. He got the knockout and everything, and didn't even have to show his wrestling. But it was just tough, man. It's like, it would have been really impressive if he did it to Trajan Gore. It would have been impressive to see it against anybody else who's proven. But for a guy who, I think they said on the broadcast tonight, a guy that just got done working, I think he was on the construction field just Monday or Tuesday, or I guess would have been the 4th of July, but Monday he was working outside and doing concrete or whatever he was doing. And, then he comes in, 3 days to fight Bo Nickel? Like, come on, guys. Like, it was impressive that he got him out of there that quickly, and it was cool to see him use the hands, and it's going to build up the UFC and everything. I get it. Or build his character up in the UFC. I get it, but just, like, was it that impressive? Like, really, guys? Like, it was cool and all, but, like, I'm already seeing, like, why not just have Bo Nickel fight the top 15 now? Like, dude, let's a slow burn here. Like, because he kind of... I'm just saying, guys, if he's fighting a guy who's proven in the UFC, he's been in there multiple times, like, it's going to go a lot worse than that. So trust me, though, Bo Nickel, impressive. And one of the craziest things, imagine how crazy this fight card would have been if JDM, Jack Della Maddalena, and Sean Brady actually would have fought. That could have been something insane. Freaking Robbie Lawler, my guy Robbie Lawler walking out. Guys, that was one of the most, like, refreshing things that I think I felt in a while. Like, we talk about it all the time here where we watch our guys that decide to retire. Like, it's always bad for him. It always goes bad for him. Like, most recent, Frankie Edgar just doesn't go well for him. And, we always see these guys go out really bad. Like, I remember, like, Brad Riddell was really upsetting. Like, there's a bunch of them that have happened where it's, I announced my retirement fight, Jorge Masvidal, I got destroyed by Gilbert. Like, we see these all the time. And it's just usually, like, it's just signing you up for a big knockout or a big, like, embarrassing loss. And no, fucking Robbie Lawler goes out there. And first of all, guys, I know Nico Price has been finished before and everything. But for real, when's the last time you guys saw Nico Price go out cold like that within, like, just a couple punches? That was impressive, man. That was old school Robbie. I felt super great about it. It was so relieving to see that a fucking legend go out on top, get a crazy knockout, highlight reel knockout, one of his best knockouts he's ever had. Maybe not against his top opponents, but it was pretty impressive, especially at 38 or whatever he is. And, it just shouts out to Robbie Lawler, man. I hope he stays retired, though, because that knockout, I was waiting for him to grab the mic and be like, I'm coming back, baby. One more, baby. Like, I think these fighters, when they get these knockouts like that, they get that belief again. And I think that was I hope I don't see Robbie Lawler in the UFC, even though I want to. I want him to stay retired. And that was just phenomenal. There's no other way he could come out. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, what was it? Denise Gomez. I think what a knockout. Oh, my God. Nobody saw that one coming. Like I said, Cam Simon. Guys, there's some phenomenal fights. Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker. Shouts out to Dan Hooker. Shouts out to Jalen Turner. I feel like neither of those guys lost anything tonight. I know Jalen Turner, back-to-back fights with Matiz Gamrot and Dan Hooker, where it's like, man, if any other judge was in there, he might get the win. And that was a tough one. That was a tough one, guys. But, man, just shouts out to Alexander Pantoja as well. That was one of the wildest fights I've ever seen. Him and Brandon Moreno, they both phenomenal, especially after that first round. Both guys just impressed the hell out of me tonight. Freaking, not only does Pantoja come out and, freaking knock down good old Brandon Moreno in the first round and look pretty damn good. And I was ready for that. Like, I didn't get a chance to release it this week. I'm sorry, boys. Like, I've been working a shit ton, so I didn't get a chance to release it, but I promise the video was done. I did see Pantoja just coming in there like the Terminator, like he always does, just walking straight. And honestly, the fight kind of went pretty similar to what I was thinking. I just really thought Brandon Moreno was going to get it this time. I thought his boxing, his confidence, everything that he's been doing, his run he's on, I thought that was going to really help him a lot against Pantoja, who's sometimes gets a little too cocky. I don't want to say maybe cocky, but like maybe a little too confident in fights, especially at the first round when he just walking him down and just taking him out. And then that second round Brandon Moreno put on, oh my God. But guys, this is one of those fights. That's one of the toughest ones I've ever had a chance to judge. Like, I mean, I didn't have a chance to judge it, but I'm just saying it's one of the toughest fights you got to sit there and watch and judge. Like, I felt bad for the judges this one time. Usually you hate on them, and I think we had a 49-46 for Moreno, which is just like how, like, no offense, like I love Brandon Moreno, but like how does that even happen? So, like, we can always sit here and pick apart the judges, but that was the one fight that I'm actually going to have, like, I'm going to be pro judge. That was a really hard fight to judge. And, personally, I do hate seeing these title fights get moved, at least change hands on a close decision like that. I always think you got to finish the champion, but hey, I didn't make the rules. So, Guys, this phenomenal UFC 290. It's amazing. Israel Adesanya, freaking Dricus du Plessis coming up. I've been telling you guys, like I said in the beginning, Cameron Simons, that man. I've been telling you guys, the kid's only 22. He made his debut at 21. The dude is a killer. I'm telling you guys right now. He showed how well versed he is. Dricus du Plessis as well showed how well versed they are, and it's crazy, man. You had it was like a South African versus Mexican night, and it was a sad night for the Mexicans, man. Jesus Lord, I feel bad for him. Brandon Moreno, who's the girl that Denise Gomez knocked out? I forget right now. I feel so bad forgetting her name. I'm sorry, guys. You hate on me. But the undefeated chick that everybody was looking high. And she's probably still going to be amazing here. Just one little tough. Just takes one of the nastiest fucking, honestly, a nasty combo that I've seen out of women. That was one of the nastier ones I've ever seen. And then, of course, like we said, Brandon Moreno losing the thin fight. And then, of course, freaking good old Yair Rodriguez at the end. But, guys, I'm fucking ecstatic now, though. We got Islam versus Volk probably guaranteed now because it seems like Charles Oliveira said he can't make the fight in November, which is exactly when he's fighting, or October, one of those in Abu Dhabi. And so, that one's tough right then and there. But it's so dope we get to see Islam versus Volk, Islam versus Volk again. And like I said, Izzy, DDP, what's next for Robert Whitaker? That's the other one that's really tough, guys. Is the dude has done so much. I did a video not too long ago. I tell you guys all the time. I did a video not too long ago if you guys watched it. It's just a similar career path that Max Holloway and Robert Whitaker have taken. And, they've won everything. They've done it all. They've already set out and done everything they've ever set out to do. And, they just have that one guy they can't beat, Volkanovski and Izzy. And then clearly now, Dricus du Plessis takes out good old freaking Robbie like that, Bobby Knuckles. And, it's just tough, man. What is next for him? He's already beat everybody he's ever wanted to. I know there's been talks of him going up to 205, but he is such a small 185er. I couldn't even imagine him at 205. And I think his talent level would work out well. But I really wouldn't be mad trying to see him sneak down to 170, but I just don't think he can, to be honest. I really don't think he can because he's already pretty lean as it is, and he would have to lose a lot of muscle mass. And I don't know. I just don't know what's next for him. I don't want to see him fight a Sean Strickland anymore. That's another guy you kind of feel bad, kind of, if you like Sean Strickland. He loses his championship tonight just because he needed Whitaker to win, because then maybe the UFC would say, you know what, let's put a new face in there. Let's get Sean Strickland in there against Izzy, because you could probably sell that fight, to be honest, guys. But it seems like, hey, the UFC got their wish. DDP's in there, shocking the world tonight. And again, hats off to Jalen Turner and Dan Hooker. Those guys put on a hell of a performance. I think Dan Hooker broke his arm, took a head kick that was insane. Honestly, guys, tonight was one of the wildest nights I've ever been a part of. But it was definitely one of those nights that just has me second guessing if I even know the sport. I've been watching the sport forever. Any of us saw Dricus du Plessis knocking out fucking Robert Whitaker like that. It still blows my mind. So, as always, your boy Steven Moustaris, guys. I'm gonna be doing way more videos. Again, I got two extra posters. Again, shouts out to my ladies over at B-Dubs. You guys are always checking out for me. If you guys watch my videos, you guys know I usually have the posters on back there, but I had to rush and get this video up. So, please comment. Tell me what your guys' thoughts was. Who do you guys want to see fight next? I love that shit. I don't care about followers and everything. I'm really just here to communicate and, to connect with all you guys, all my MMA fans out there. Come on, baby. I ain't got friends that know the sport like that. So it's always your boy, Steven Moustaris. Let's go, baby. UFC 290. Let's go, baby.